Get up. Get up. Get up.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast, the official podcast of the New York Mets, episode 123. And wow, what a great episode this is. The Mets not only beat the Dodgers in this series, but have now taken the season series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the self-proclaimed best team in Major League Baseball. The Mets have beat this year in all their games. They have the series lead, which is fantastic. And I mean, I don't think the vibes could be any better right now, so I'll hold the intro short because we have a lot to talk about in this one. If you guys are not yet following us on all our social media, make sure you are at Mets'd on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and if you're looking for the YouTube video version of this, check out the New York Mets YouTube channel. That's where you'll be able to find it. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast, drop us a rating, a review, download it, subscribe. We do appreciate you. James, how you feeling?
Amazing. This is one of the more satisfying and fulfilling Mets series, I think, of this entire very satisfying and fulfilling season.
It was a preview of what we can expect to come in the playoffs, I think.
Well, yeah, because these were three grinded-out games. They're basically all 50-50 games as well. Like, just as easily, the Dodgers could have won this series. We could have swept. They even could have swept possibly. But some fun with numbers in this series, not in the way you guys are probably thinking. This is our episode 123, 123.
Oh.
That's kind of funny.
That is nice.
Also, Mets record, palindrome, 84 and 48.
Palindrome, SAT word of the day.
There you go. And now the Mets have won 4 out of their last 5 games against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Because they lost the first 2 in L.A., those 2 night games, the Gonsolin and Tyler Anderson.
Yep.
Then they won the next 2, lost Tuesday night here. That was Tuesday, Monday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday night, and then won the last 2.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets are playing really good baseball. Again, the lucky Mets, because this team's the luckiest team in baseball, of course. There's no actual skill going on here in New York with the Mets, but
you can't beat 36 games over 500 without luck.
I can't beat the Dodgers in a season series without a little bit of luck. I mean, this is, again, the best team in baseball. It seems like everybody around it is saying it. I mean, we've even said, I think, at times, too, that they are the best team in baseball. But for the Mets to take the season series, to take this series at home in the way that they did in close games that are playoff atmosphere, playoff-type games, you have to make those right decisions when it's this tight. Like you said, 50-50, and the Mets came out on the right side. Like, this is awesome. This is so sick. This is a fun episode that we get to do because we get to talk about the Mets being the best team in baseball.
I think it's right now you can almost kind of say the Mets are the best team in the National League. After beating the Dodgers season series, you beat the Cardinals in the season series, and you're on track. There's 3 more games left, but you have a good shot to beat Atlanta in the season series. So you got to be compared to the other great teams that you play, and the Mets have done that. And now on the year so far, the Mets are 39-30 against teams over 500.
It's awesome.
That's the 3rd best record in all of baseball.
That's just luck, though.
Oh, it's so lucky.
So
Mets are so lucky. And you want to talk about luck, timely hitting. A stat I've talked about the show multiple times that's mostly luck is RISP. What is RISP?
Yep.
The Mets scored 5 of their 10 runs in this series with 2 outs. And that's not necessarily men's scoring position, but generally you're getting a 2-out hit rather than like a 2-out homer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, the Mets are playing really good ball right now. And to beat the Dodgers, especially with our backs up against the wall a little bit with the Braves breathing down our necks, it's still very close. As we know, the separation between the two is really close.
And you lost the first game of the series coming off a tough luck loss on Sunday that had people very upset and scared about what was going to come.
But as we've seen with his Mets team all year long, the guys on the field don't care about what the fans have to say in terms of the season being over, as it's been proclaimed multiple times by Twitter users alike. But I mean, they just keep fighting back, and the Braves get to play the Rockies, which is a series that favors them massively, and you would have came into this one thinking, okay, if the Mets win 2 of 3 against the Dodgers, like, oh my goodness, that's incredible. The Mets right now are in a spot where they didn't lose any games on the Braves, and they just played the best team in baseball.
Because the Braves did happen to lose a game against the Rockies, and there was a funny tweet going around over the weekend from Tim Britton. Very good tweet. Tim Britton's also a very good writer. That since the All-Star break, the Mets and Braves hadn't lost on the same day.
So funny.
And then he tweeted that on Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday, back-to-back days, they each lost on the same day.
Yeah, literally instantly after he did that, the losing together started happening. But hey, we'll take it. I mean, just a great series. And honestly, a great series for the boys, too, because we, on, what was it, Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Wednesday, we came early to the game, as we do a lot, and we were getting ready to do some interviews. And producer John snagged us a good one here because, I mean, we've got Max Scherzer. You heard of him? He introduced himself to us, which is hilarious. He's like, hey, guys, Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we know who you are.
I think he said, I'm Max.
Yeah, he said, I'm Max.
I was like, we know.
We know. We actually want to talk to you. That's why. It's because you are Max.
We've prepared questions.
15 minutes with Max that should be coming out soon-ish, I hope.
Any idea when?
Any idea, John?
We're going to push that to the front of the line.
Yeah, I think it deserves to go to the front of the line because the interview was incredible. It was 15 minutes that flew by. Max talked so much, which is awesome because you guys listen to us every episode after the series. That's when you get to hear us talk. But when we talk to these players, you don't want to hear us. You want to hear what they have to say. And Scherzer had some of the most unique takes I've ever heard on the game of baseball.
Max Scherzer was creating new rules, developing new strategies, telling us about tidbits about his baseball past and history and future. It was fascinating.
Best 15 minutes we've probably had on this podcast
Some of
ever.
the best 15 minutes of my entire life.
And in case you guys couldn't
on a
realize,
baseball field.
Yeah, I mean we were freaking out. Like
Lost
the way the day started was so funny because we got here early. John's like, get here at 3. Got here at 3. We were ready to go. All right, let's go get Max. Max, we talked to him. He's like, all right, give me like 10 minutes. I got to go check on things, but I'll do it. And we're like, all right, usually that means like I'm a little bit busy today. I don't have time. Maybe next time. Max is doing his sprints in the outfield. I'm going, oh, there's no shot. Like when that was happening, what did you think the % chance was that we'd get this interview?
I generally think that Max Scherzer is a trustworthy individual.
Oh,
so when he gave us his word, I believed him. John was a little bit negative. He was
skeptical.
He was like, I guess we'll see if this is worth it. I actually turned around to a moment to you, and I was like, this just isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Because like we have also gotten close to talking to Max before, and something has gone wrong or something's happened. And there was such media frenzy Wednesday because MLB Network was doing the game. Bob Costas was here. Jacob deGrom was pitching. Like there was a lot of stuff going on. So like, all right, these guys are going to try to avoid this stuff. John Heyman was lurking.
John Heyman was...
He creeped on the entire interview.
And then as soon as Max walked away, he was on him like a vulture. I
Literally.
mean, the dude was...
give credit where it's due. The guy's a professional.
Big J Journo.
But it worked out. We did it. And then when Max actually just walked up to us like and introduced us, hi, I'm Max. John, who was also doubling a producer, friend, cameraman, was nowhere to be found. So
and I had to call him. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, like... We're not going to get him. Like, Max is going to be like, well, no one's here. I have to leave.
It's like, if you want to bust up 45 seconds of Max Scherzer's preparation, because that could be it. That's why he's so good. He prepares so well.
Yeah, and we were freaking out. Got him on the phone. John was luckily just around the corner, tucked
God.
away. We just couldn't see him. But the
I would've
interview
cried.
went incredibly well. Got the picture with Max. It was crazy. And I think there's a chance, like, when we see him now, we might get a, hey, what's up, guys?
It's possible. We could at least maybe get a head nod.
We got some laughs. We told him about how
did.
the only reason we're in this situation right now
him.
with the Mets is because of him and signing with the Mets, which was cool when we were doing those crazy Twitter spaces, like one of the most listened to sports Twitter spaces of all time.
At least the most listened to baseball one I've
For
ever
sure,
seen. I've seen a
baseball.
couple college football ones get over us, but none of any other sport. It was
No.
literally just that stupid Florida State one after one of the recruits dipped and went with Dion and all the Barstool guys like ready to try and get listens. We had the biggest one besides that.
Which is also relevant, too, with college football coming up
Exactly.
this
We'll talk
weekend,
about
which
that a
we'll talk
little bit,
about that
I
a
guess.
little bit later. But let's get going with this Mets series. Oh, we also talked to Mark Canha.
Yes,
Of
and
course.
Bob Costas.
And Bob Costas. So we got a ton of great stuff coming at you guys. Make sure you're following us on all our socials, like I said, so you can keep up to date to that. With that being said, let's talk about Game 1. Game 1 was the low because the Mets lose this one. So we can talk about this kind of rather quickly because we do have some great wins to talk about here. But I feel like the big thing that was kind of hovering around this game a little bit that caused buzz was that Timmy Trumpet was in the house for this one. He was ready to go, ready to play those trumpets. He didn't get a chance to really in Game 1.
No, but it was cool him being here because this song has become such a national phenomenon. Like, it is expanded now, like, from the Mets to baseball to worldwide, I would say.
Did you know he was an Aussie?
I didn't know that, but I assumed he wasn't American because I think Blaster Jacks are something. I don't know what they are.
That's more in your field, the
I mean,
EDM.
kind of. Yeah, but Blaster Jacks is a little too,
Yeah, but Timmy Trumpet was here. I was watching the interview he did on SNY with Steve Gelbs, and it was funny. He's like, oh, I'm a diehard Mets fan now, like for life. I've never been to a baseball game. Like, it's so interesting to throw someone into like this environment, which was like one of the most hectic ones that we've seen all year.
Yeah,
and him not to really even have a clue of what's going on.
No, also because this was a hectic series. Like, the Mets fans showed out all 3 games here. People knew what was at stake and what was going on, who the Mets were playing. Dave Roberts, the Dodgers, they all knew what was going on too. A lot of gamesmanship from Dave, which we'll talk about as we move along here. And then it was kind of weird. This was the game he was at because the game was almost totally dead after the first inning.
Well, like, yes and no, because the Mets actually started the game incredibly well, but also incredibly bad. Like, the first 2 batters of the game was electric, and you're like, oh my God, we might have a chance to jump.
What happened those first 2 batters of the game?
First 2 batters of the game, we had, Nimmo got on base, right?
Yeah.
And then Marte laid down a bunt. And who was pitching for them? I can't remember.
Heaney,
yeah, it was the lefty.
It was a weird.
Yeah, Heaney went like a weird shovel pass to first base when like he had plenty of time to just make like a normal throw, and he threw it like into Marte basically, got away. Brandon Nimmo scored from first on the bunt. Marte got to third, and with no outs, you're like, we have the Dodgers on the ropes.
I was, of course, listening to this game on the radio. It was like a nice long bike ride on Monday night, spent time with some friends. Met a woman who close personal friends of Tom Hanks and was in one episode of The Sopranos.
Tom Hanks, good Greek boy.
But after the bunt got laid down, the error was made. Starling Marte's at third. Brandon Nimmo scores. Howie goes, small ball, brings a big result.
There was a lot of things that happened this series that the baseball purists, is that how I think the nice way to say it is?
Yeah.
Baseball purists, would go crazy about, just quickly in Game 3 when Terrence Gore stole that base and he slid in feet first. I turned to you and said, Keith Hernandez is going to love that. And he's talking about it on the broadcast. Seconds later, my dad texts me and goes, Keith loved the feet first slide. He was like, see that slide there, folks? That's good baseball.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that happened like this in this series.
But then in this moment of the first inning of the first game, we have Heaney on the ropes. There's a man on third, nobody out, run home. Francisco Lindor walks. Now you have first and third, nobody out, run home, middle of your order up. Pete, who has been scuffling a little bit, had a not so good at bat. Also another one against the lefty where that's becoming a weird thing.
Attacking him high in the zone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always kind of been, I don't want to say there's a hole in Pete's swing because there's not, but the spot where he's susceptible to get out more seems to be high in the zone, which also makes sense for a home run hitter. You're dropping your hands, you're crushing the ball, so when it's up, he has a little bit more trouble. And the Dodgers really this entire series attacked him up in the zone. So something to keep an eye out for looking forward with Pete's at-bats, too.
Yeah, even though most of the teams we play the next few weeks don't really employ much strategy.
No, there's not
so
a
you
lot
probably
of,
won't see this again for a month.
Not a lot of computation.
There was a weird play that happened after. There's been a few instances this season where Starling Marte has been on third base and Francisco Lindor has been on first, and the Mets have used their athleticism to our advantage and run the classic double steal play. We made fun of the Phillies about this a couple weeks ago.
We did.
And Lindor broke from first, and Marte didn't break from third, and Lindor just was thrown out by 3 or 4 steps. Kind of stopped, too, almost giving Marte a last chance to go. So maybe someone missed a sign, maybe it was miscommunication, but that kind of ran us out of the inning. And then from there, Andrew Heaney settled down, and then the game, the Dodgers just felt like they almost kind of took the momentum, even though they gave up a run.
I mean, and we did fight back a little bit, too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the game was dead necessarily after the first, but, it did have a different feel once you couldn't get Marte in from third, for sure. But Marte came back with a homer. Canna got the home run, which was the 100th of his career. I mean, there was things that made you believe again in this game.
We forgot to mention something hilarious about Mark Canna. Just talking about his name reminded me. We brought up the nickname Marky Cheerios to him, and just a little sneak preview. I think he likes it.
I think he approves. I think he got the Canna stamp of approval.
So we're going to see what we can do with that. But this game it ended up being tied, right? Because 3-2, 3-3?
Yeah.
3-3, yeah. Lux had a nice RBI hit. Look, this was a good game for Gavin Lux. He got rid of all his good baseball in Game 1, thankfully for us.
That's something I love to say. He can't play too well in Game 1.
And then the Dodgers had a rally against Joely, and they scored a run, and that was it.
Yeah, and then I guess the 9th inning, just a little bit of Dave Robertson Dodgers playing a little mental games, I think, for sure. Kind of hey, 1, we're not going to show you our best. Hey, 2, we're going to use the guy that you guys cut. Jake Reed came in the game and just kind of closed the door. Eduardo got that hit early on, but got the Vogie double play, and that kind of put an end to it, and Jake Reed went nuts on the mound.
I know.
Absolutely ballistic.
I mean, you kind of want to act like you've been there before. I know the Dodgers win a lot of regular season games, so it's weird they put so much importance on this one.
Yeah. It's the only one they were going to win, that's why.
Yeah, I guess they knew that because they knew how much they struggled against the Mets last time around, too, so they were very excited about this one. But, you figure a team has 27% of a World Series, they would act a little more,
Well,
nuanced.
that's right about as much of this series as they won.
Basically, it's similar. Yeah, within the margin of error.
Yeah, within the margin of error. I mean, they won, 33% of this series? So that's pretty close to what their actual World Series is
That's kind of what they're used to doing.
Yeah, so that was Game 1. Mets lost. Who cares? Let's talk about Game 2, because now we have some fun. Again, like we said, we were in the stadium for this one.
Very early.
Talking to Max Scherzer, talking to Mark Canna. Jacob deGrom day. Simple man, as I do with every Jacob deGrom start. Listen to it in my morning shower. It really gets my day going.
What time do you take your morning shower?
Don't worry about that. 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is my morning shower. Roll out of bed at 10:30.
I used to live with Mark, so I knew that. I just wanted him to say it.
My neighbors above me have been just really rowdy, and I shouldn't even say it. It's clearly children. It's clearly 3 and 4 year olds.
Toddlers are rowdy.
The way that they're running
and twisted off apple juice.
Yeah, it's the stumble run where it's man, they're running so loud. An adult couldn't run one wouldn't run upstairs in their own apartment. That'd be crazy if someone was just running around.
Who even has that big of an apartment to run?
Yeah,
I can't run in my apartment.
I want to know the size of this apartment now because I can hear them going back and forth, and at times during the day it's radio it's quiet. And I'm oh. This is amazing. I can just kind of not hear
You think they're old enough? You think they're old enough for school? Because you might catch a break next week.
If they start school, this is that could be the second greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Because
who's won?
Oh, getting this podcast, of course. Come on now, gotta be smart here. But that being said, I've been waking up a little bit earlier, not by choice, but because I'm forced to. Because at 8:30, they are just ready to play basketball. It sounds like.
Ready to play basketball. Fisher Price soup. That's probably pretty electric for them.
There have been times,
and 5-year-old.
there have been times where I've definitely like overreacted and said they're playing basketball. But recently, like the last few days, I've heard dribbles. I've heard dribbles and jumps. And I'm like, they're shooting hoops. They're shooting hoops on the 5th floor. Come on.
I just have the guys hanging out on my street smoking hookah, drinking Modelo.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Different
Our
noise.
apartments are different rowdy.
We live in different neighborhoods.
I have a family with kids that are growing up, learning vital things in this apartment. You have guys drinking,
fellas,
and smoking.
Yeah, but let's get back to this game too, because we've been to a lot of games this year, a lot of very fun ones. This was probably the most extreme electric environment that we've had all season, just because I think everyone knew the magnitude of the game. Mets are coming off 2 straight losses. People knew Timmy Trumpet was in the house. We have the U.S. Open going on in our backyard, so there's like a little bit of extra like personal vibe in here. It was from the first pitch. Jacob deGrom was just giving the fans exactly what we needed, and just felt good watching him.
Yeah, he was no hit through 3 until John texted us.
The first hit was in the 5th inning with 1 out. John texted us after the first out in the 5th inning, no hitter watch or no hitter alert.
Yeah, whatever it was something about, hey, Jacob deGrom's throwing no hitter. We read it.
It was like, did you guys realize Jacob deGrom's throwing a no hitter?
Yeah.
I think that might have been what it was.
And a hit happens immediately. We're like,
it's like less than a minute.
A lot of expletives.
Yeah.
A lot of are you kidding me, John? He loves doing that.
Call John a bad word.
It's all right because the Mets win this game, so John gets let off the hook here. And Jacob deGrom was still a beast. I mean, his line was incredible again.
7 innings, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 earned, just 3 hits in addition to that one little seeing eye single in the 5th.
A lot of really good fly balls hit by the Dodgers, though.
But the wind was also blowing out, and it was a national game, so it looked like the ball had a little pep.
little juice in it, for sure.
Moving. There were a couple like 93, 94, 95 mile-an-hour exit velocities that were like to the warning track.
And I looked at you, I was like, I haven't seen a ball hit that far at all since, I don't know, 2019 or something.
Like some opposite field, 95 mile-an-hour exit velocities to the wall. I was like, okay, this is a little dangerous. And there were a couple long balls in this game that we'll talk about, but just to talk about deGrom for a moment. I mentioned it last start, and now this was his 3rd consecutive start with more sliders than fastballs. I looked back before, I've forgotten, but I remember I didn't. Whatever, it was a heavy day, but I'm not even going to say the stat. That slider had 15 whiffs on 25 swings. It was pretty unbelievable most of the game. 3rd time through, the Dodgers seemed to have a little bit more of a grasp of where he was throwing and when, because he basically throws in the same spot every single time. People still have no idea how to hit it.
That's impressive.
Shout out to Mookie Betts, who, I mean, you got to tip the cap because
it's a pro's pro.
Pro's pro. He hit a home run off Jacob deGrom, also struck out against him, said he might be the best pitcher ever.
Which I won't argue with Mookie Betts. Let me tell you.
No, Mookie Betts knows hitting.
He knows hitting quite well, and he also knows bowling.
He does know bowling. I'd love to bowl with Mookie Betts. That could be content for us.
Take him to the gutter on
LIC.
Those conditions he would probably be like, there's not enough wax on this lane.
Oh, he'd scoff.
Yeah, he'd be like, this ball, you think I'm going to use this? I got my own.
Look at those pins over there, all dinged up. But just rattle off some more deGrom stuff because he's incredible. 9 strikeouts and 5 straight starts. 2nd longest streak in his own career, which is hilarious. That's the 2nd longest streak in his career.
He's so good.
It was deGrom's 100th career start with 1 or no runs allowed. That's 204 starts overall.
That's crazy.
So it's like, 47% of the time he's giving up 1 run or fewer.
He's so good.
71% strike rate, best among all starting pitchers, minimum 100 batter faced.
So silly.
He has taken a no-hitter into the 5th inning in 3 of his 6 starts this season. And since August 1st, he made his debut trade deadline. That was August 2nd, I believe, right? Or August 3rd?
Yeah, something like that. We were there.
Yeah, we were there.
That was the trade deadline day.
Yes, Jacob deGrom has a 40.6 strikeout minus walk percentage. A stat I talk about in the lot. It's incredibly predictive of pitcher success, even in that small sample. He leads the league in he leads all starters in that stat. Guys with a minimum of 30 innings pitched. 2nd is Blake Snell at 29%.
Oh, I would not have guessed Blake Snell.
He's had a very hot month. That's an 11-point difference between 1st and 2nd. Then after Snell, it's like Morton, Lance Lynn, Kevin Gausman, Aaron Nola, all around 25, 26, 27%, and Jacob deGrom over 40.
Yeah, Jacob deGrom's a pretty good pitcher.
He's good.
And it's funny, too, like those numbers, like the strike rate and everything. Imagine if you just took out the leadoff hitter, too, because he loves getting
like
to 3 balls on the leadoff hitter, which is interesting.
And Jacob deGrom's curveball induced 3 Dodger swings, 2 whiffs.
They're one to Gavin Lux. Big tip of the cap there.
Yeah.
That's a big move of what Jacob deGrom thinks of Gavin Lux. Now, on the Mets offensive side, there was a bunch of hits sprinkled in there. I think they had like 7 hits at one point early in the game against Tyler Anderson.
Spaced
them out. But the big one came from Starling Marte in the 3rd inning, which was an absolute seed to center field. I think he hit it like 104 or 107. I don't remember the exact number.
I'll give it in a second.
Crushed it to right center field. I mean, I said to you, I was like, that ball needs to get out. It needs to get out like good because Cody Bellinger's roaming center field.
Yeah.
As much as he can't swing the bat anymore, there seems to be a hole.
Foreshadowing,
yeah. Seems to have a little Swiss cheese bat.
But 107 on that Marte home run.
Yeah, okay. 107, he smoked it. I was like, that ball's got to get out because there's a chance Cody Bellinger makes that play. Well gone, right in front of the 7 line, who was out and loud for the game. It's always great when they're there, too, because they really bring the energy.
That Marte home run was actually only the second hardest hit ball in this game as well. The hardest was Eduardo Escobar's double in the 4th inning.
And
109.6.
I thought Eduardo was going yard in this game, too. I had that feeling.
He put one in his first at-bat, almost out to right field. That wouldn't look good.
Yeah,
but that was also one of those first fly balls where I was only 96 miles an hour off the bat, and that got to the warning track. Something's up tonight.
That made me think, though. I was like, oh, man, Eduardo's got a chance. Definitely was interested. Had something in that for him to hit a home run there.
Yeah, gave Marte a home run 3 straight games against the Dodgers. No, 3 straight games in general?
Yeah, versus the Dodgers. Versus the Dodgers.
And home run 2 straight days.
Yeah. Home run 2 straight days, too.
Yes.
That was also the first opposite field home run allowed by Tyler Anderson all year. The dude just peppers cutters inside the righties, so it makes sense.
Otherwise, he was, awesome. And he just is one of these mech killers.
Pro move by me and you.
Yeah,
both acknowledging how well Tyler Anderson was pitching. Tweeted masterclass that he's having a masterclass.
I told Mark 8 scoreless minimum.
Yeah, next inning gave up the home run. Like sometimes you gotta show respect.
But even after that happened, we got those runs, thank God, because the jinx god smiled upon us, as they like to do maybe once-ish a week.
Once-ish.
But he just kept giving us fits. We couldn't square him up because the cutter and the changeup, it was ridiculous.
His little annoying timing thing with his leg.
In his career, he's thrown 29 1/3 innings against the Mets, 2.45 ERA and 1.13 WHIP, including a start where I think it was 7 or 8 scoreless last year when the Pirates ended our season and Tyler Anderson hit a home run. I was here.
Yeah, Tyler Anderson was like a guy that when you see those starts, like old Mets teams, you see a name out there, and you're like, he's going to pitch well against us, isn't he? He's one of those guys.
I was begging for Tyler Anderson this team in the offseason.
You were.
Also, you say Kikuchi, so 1 out of 2.
Yeah, 1 out of 2. Listen, the best hitters are in the Hall of Fame hitting 30% of the time, so.
I go 50% of the time?
50% of the time, greatest player of all time.
Come on, there you go. Things, though, got a little bit more fun later in this game. Tyler Anderson was still in because him and DeGrom were just, doing, 10-pitch innings back and forth. It was,
a lot of strikes thrown.
A lot of strikes, yeah. This is also a very quick game, which has been happening a lot when DeGrom pitches, which is cool because we got to evade the U.S. Open traffic.
John, thank you for not texting us about how quick the game was. At least you didn't jinx that one.
All right, let's backtrack real quick. First of all, 2 hours, 19 minutes. I mean, that's baseball as it ought to be. That is exactly what you want. But do you guys truly, truly, in your heart of hearts, believe in jinxes?
100%.
1,000%.
Do you actually?
Yes.
No doubt in my mind.
Absolutely no doubt.
John, do you want to hear something? I would save it for game 3, but I believe in jinxes. I believe in superstitions.
Wait,
you guys,
this is good. This is
Yeah,
no, let's talk about it now because this is topical. But you guys might see I have a hot dog bun carton here. And I say hot dog bun carton because if you open it up and you take a look, there is no hot dog in this bun. It's a naked bun. There's nothing in it. During the 6th inning or going into the 7th inning in game 3, I went up to the concessions. I was like, hey, let me get a hot dog and a Gatorade. Sure, great. I walked back to the seat. It's like the first time ever I didn't open my hot dog and immediately start eating it, which was weird. Get to the seats. I open it up. It's empty. There was no hot dog in there.
It's also ironic that Mark is a self-proclaimed glizzy connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yet he couldn't feel the difference in weight and the rattling around without the dog in here.
Yeah, I was focused on bigger things. I wanted to get back to the seat.
He couldn't feel it.
No, and I don't put condiments on because I'm a purist. I like a hot dog for the taste of the hot dog.
Keith, Howie, Bob Costas, Mark Luino. Mount Rushmore of purists.
So I was like, man, all right, well, I'm going to go at the end of this half inning and go get a hot dog put in my hot dog bun. Because I was like, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. But James McCann gets the hit. The Mets started rallying and ended up, mounting the comeback here. So the Mets ended up winning that game. And it's because of this bunless or this hot dogless bun. And I've held on to it still. I mean, it's 9 o'clock at night. The game ended about 2 hours ago. During that inning, when we were pitching, I made sure I kept the hot dog bun in the same hand. Edwin, I had it in my right hand when Edwin let the 2 guys on. I switched it to the left, and it got so much better, and it didn't leave my left hand for the rest of the game. So yes, I believe in jinxes. I believe in superstitions. I'm nuts. I'm insane.
All right. Well, you should put that in our freezer, and if you
I
don't,
said that.
yeah, because that thing's going to be moldy by Sunday.
Yeah, but
sure.
how long will this last in a freezer?
Forever.
You put that in the
Indefinitely.
freezer, it'll be good.
It'll be good every
Okay,
game.
it's going in the freezer.
Otherwise,
then.
it's going in the garbage, and
we
then your lucky hot dog
We have
bun
to
is.
write, do not throw away on this.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. Not in pencil. Save it for the Sharpie in
Okay,
there.
that's a
I have a
Sharpie.
Sharpie. Also, you learned your lesson about checking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll never forget to check my hot dog.
You have to.
Well, this is one of those things, and listen, I don't care. I'm not upset that I didn't get my hot dog. It's really okay.
It's a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, but
It happens.
It's like one of those things where, like, why would I ever check? Because I'm just going to open it and eat it. Like,
I'll tell you
it
why.
should be there. I ordered a hot dog.
Tell us why, John.
I once went into Best Buy of Jersey City to buy an Apple band watch.
No way.
I walk out of the store, happy-go-lucky. I think I got a nice new band. I get home, box is empty.
Doesn't even make any sense.
And they put me through the ringer of trying to get my money back. Eventually, they made right by me, but I learned my lesson. Oh, we got a Sharpie.
I have to write it.
From Matt Mendez over here helping
Shout out, Matt.
helping out the show. Do not throw away in perfect cursive. Anyway, so I'll continue.
Mark can't write in cursive.
No. I mean, I don't know if I can either,
Oh,
honestly.
no. What are you doing?
not
You botched this.
Throw. I spelled throw wrong.
You,
Throw.
you gave
out.
due, like,
No, that looks
almost
clean.
30% of
That
the,
looks
of the
clean.
box.
You guys can't even tell I forgot to put an H in throw originally.
You got to write rally bun on the side,
Yeah,
too.
I'll put rally on there
love a
too.
rally
But John,
bun.
keep going with your story.
But anyway, yeah, so I get home and I learned my lesson that you need to check whenever you walk away with a box that the contents of what you sought out to get are in said box. Otherwise, you're out of luck.
I can't believe you guys haven't learned this lesson with Chinese food.
No.
What, making sure the order's correct?
100%.
I-
Every time.
Oh, yeah, drive-throughs. I'm all like, if I went to McDonald's, I don't eat much, but if I would back in the day, I'm pulling over. I'm making
Yeah.
sure I got everything that I asked for. Otherwise, like you drive away, and then are you really gonna go
Yeah,
back?
you're done.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
Probably
is,
part of their corporate strategy.
like I would always check my other food
They assume that
because
60% of people aren't checking.
I would
Undercut.
I would check my other food because I like everything plain, which was like that's a big deal apparently. People love to put condiments on everything. So when I'd like order a burger, I'm like, hey, let me get a plain cheeseburger. There'd be ketchup on it. I can't eat that. Like, ketchup is just so vile. It's disgusting. So
Vile?
Vile. Ketchup is vile.
That is a bad food take.
I'll throw away a shirt if it gets ketchup on it. I don't want
shirt?
it
You'll throw
anymore.
away a
I'll
shirt?
throw away a
Ever
white.
hear of
Do you have
laundry
to get
detergent?
Yeah, I do have detergent. I don't want the
have
shirt.
a laundry detergent story from today. I lost a bottle of laundry detergent.
Which is like that's
crazy.
That's worse than throwing away a shirt.
It sent me back a half hour coming to this game because I was trying to get my laundry done while I was working to get to the game by first pitch. It was debacle. I lost a half hour. I tore my house apart. I have no idea. It was a new bottle of laundry detergent. I have no clue where it could have
You
gone.
had to leave it in the laundromat.
I had to, of course.
Because like if you lost the bottle of
I
laundry
know.
detergent in your own
But
apartment,
like
that's,
I just like moved things around in my room, put the desk together. So I thought maybe it got mixed up somewhere. And then like I went to also 2 bodegas, no detergent.
it's gonna show up tonight.
It probably will. But
gonna show up
then,
tonight.
and of course, when I go to the grocery store, it was a buy one get one. So I got 2 bottles of laundry detergent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You have
now
another.
you can lose one and you'll have
Now I
another
can
one.
lose when I have a backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sent me back a half hour. I missed the first pitch of
You
this
got to
game.
lose a bottle of detergent. If the Mets play the Dodgers in the playoffs, you've got to be losing bottles of detergent.
Someone's
I gotta do laundry. Oh, you want to actually know something funny? So when I came
Talk to the mic.
when I came yesterday, I had like a notebook in my backpack that I use sometimes, but I hadn't used it recently, and I forgot my book for the train. And when I was coming today, I was switching out things in my backpack, and I took the notebook out and I put the book in to read. And I was like, you know what? The Mets won yesterday.
Yeah.
And I put the notebook back in. I took my book out, and I didn't.
That's doing it for the team right there.
didn't read.
I know the guys play on the field. They're making all the moves, but this couldn't be possible without the rally button.
Yeah,
Keeping it in the left hand.
the notebook.
The notebook.
I'm just curious if the majority of listeners, I think that you guys got to fire up the poll machine.
Yeah, I'll do a
definitely
poll
will,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Do you guys at home listening, do you actually, I feel like the majority of people actually believe in this stuff.
I would love to do a statistical study of how much each fan base believes in jinxes. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
the Mets fans are probably far and away ahead of the jinx. Like, I think that we're looking at 60 to 70% of Mets fans believe in the jinx. If you go out to San Diego, it's probably like 15, 20%.
They didn't throw a no-hitter for a while either, though, up until Joe Musgrove.
I guess that's
think that was
true,
their first
yeah.
one. I think you got to talk about, like, I don't know, Cleveland Guardians, maybe.
Yeah.
No, they have a drought, too. I've picked, like, all of the teams that have major droughts.
The Royals.
The Royals. Maybe the Royals.
Yeah, Tigers.
Yankees aren't superstitious, that's
No,
for sure.
no.
Dodgers,
Yeah,
probably
Dodgers,
not superstitious.
probably not superstitious at
Yeah,
all.
the fan base that don't like to have fun like us Mets fans.
No. I mean, jinxes are real.
Wait, John, are you superstitious?
So,
You strike me
yeah.
as a superstitious person.
yes and no. In terms of baseball, I was luckily at Johan's no-hitter.
You were at the
and
game?
I was there.
Look, I'm the only one who hasn't seen a Mets no-hitter in person.
Randomly,
I guess that's true.
That morning, I was dating a nice young girl. The Rangers had just gotten knocked out by the Devils
There
like
it
a
is.
week before.
There it is.
And I was upset. So I was like, a little Ranger rehab. I'll go see the Met game. Next thing you know, Johan's throwing a no-hitter. Shane Robinson, former Cardinal, pinch hit in that game. He comes up to the plate, and he didn't have a headshot. It literally said no name on the scoreboard. And at that time, I'm thinking like, well, no name's going to be the one to break it up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. Obviously, no hitter's complete. From that point forward, I was just like, I mean, I never thought this was ever going to happen. And not only did it happen, but I was here.
Yeah.
So how could I be superstitious? But
That's fair.
I guess I can be. Like, I always like to walk out of my house right foot first.
Really?
That counts.
That's
Crazy. That's crazier than
I
anything
think
I've
that's-
said.
I
No,
think-
you
think
believe
no.
in a magic hot dog bun.
You're borderline OCD.
That it might be more.
Yeah, it might be more OCD.
One,
than
two,
superstition.
three. 1, 2, 3. Charlie
be
Kelly's
that.
mom.
Oh man, wow, that was quite the tangent.
Yeah, you want to talk about baseball again?
Yeah, let's go back to the game. Where were we?
I got
Where
where
were we?
We were getting towards, I think, the 6th, 7th inning of this game. Tyler Anderson
Oh.
giving us fits.
We on a tee for what's coming next. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Third time around the order, the Dodgers starting to get a little bit hot. DeGrom was very slider heavy. It looked like he kind of lost command of it a little bit. He was just hitting less spots. Dodgers were seeing it a little better. They weren't chasing it as much. Mookie Betts hit a very convincing home run.
Crushed.
That really got everyone locked back into this game. Like, all right, he's mortal.
That's the one
it's
where you,
one
like-
run game. Let's play.
You almost like you're watching the game here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're here. It's like
Bring
you
it in.
zoomed in.
It was like that meme of like you're playing video games and you lean and then you come forward off the
Yeah.
chair.
Right next to the TV
Start
screen.
focusing up. Yeah. And then Freddie Freeman had a single. There was a very tense Will Smith at bat. As Mark and I were arguing about where Will Smith ranks in the pantheon of position players in baseball.
Yeah.
We put him like at the back end of the top 20.
Yeah, which I think is a fair spot.
Yeah, we went literally player by player in the half inning right after this happened. And it was because we couldn't talk about while the at-bat was going on because of the jinx stuff. I can't talk about how good Will Smith is and then watch him beat us.
No, of course not.
Or the opposite, that's true. We talk about how good he is and he doesn't get the hit.
Yeah.
It's hard. The jinx life it's a tough line to walk.
I was scared with Cody Bellinger too because
Yeah.
on this day I just dropped a center field tier list on my channel and I said Cody Bellinger stinks and I was like, oh man, I might be eating those words today, especially because he came up in some big moments. But I feel like the biggest moment came up in this game though.
Next inning.
The next inning, Justin Turner. I think he's on the rat list.
He's an R, but he's not an RF.
Yeah, he's on the
A
rat
few OGs
list.
know what we're talking about.
He's on the rat list, I think, and I mean he's a Met killer now. It feels like every time we play him, he gets a big hit. He's just a clutch, good
he's
professional
not a
hitter.
Met killer. He just always hits.
He's just a killer of
He
all the
can't
teams.
stop
Yeah,
hitting.
he's a good baseball player. That's really more what
He's
it is.
addicted to hitting.
He hit a deep fly to what? I guess center field you would call it, right? Not
Where-
right
where
center.
else
Not
would
right
you call
center.
that?
I don't know, right center.
Center field.
Center
100%
field.
center field, you freak.
And Brandon Nimmo, who has just become one of the elite defensive outfielders, one of the elite center fielders in all of baseball. I'm just going to put the elite tag right on him because he's an absolute stud. He's so underrated. But he tracks this ball so well, times it perfectly, and makes catch of the year. It reminded me a lot of that Mike Trout catch in Baltimore that everybody knows about, where it's just like in stride, in rhythm, over the wall, robs a home run, completely changed this game.
Nimmo also had a very similar catch last year. I might be crazy, but I also think this was the Tyler Anderson game.
It was.
It was.
It
Yes.
was.
It was the second game of a doubleheader on a Saturday. I remember this very vividly because I met Vanessa Hudgens this day.
That's the day
sitting
you
in the
can't forget.
Pirates Friends and Family section. I'll never forget that. She was wearing platform Crocs and crushing vodka sodas. It was unbelievable. And Nimmo was in the first inning. He went out exact same spot, center field, full stride, reach out, made the catch.
He's just quietly become an elite defensive center fielder for a guy who, like, for a while had the tag of he's going to be a corner guy. Now it's like, oh, why would you ever move him from center field?
Definitely not. And a lot of it people have said it's because of positioning. Like, he's played a significantly deeper center field than he did earlier. It allows him to use his speed, getting downhill on a ball forward, and then being able to backtrack going back.
Yeah, he gets good reads on the ball, too.
And
Like,
he's also like Brandon Nimmo. He was always baseball young. He didn't even play high school baseball. Like,
Yeah.
He was American Legion in Wyoming.
he probably saw, what, like 25 balls a year?
That's what I mean. So like, and also the fly balls against people who probably couldn't hit that well.
Yeah, for sure.
He was in the car for 3 hours on the way there. He wasn't that focused.
No one's hit a fly ball as high as they are now.
A different air density.
I don't know what the air density is like. Wyoming, is that where he's from?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wyoming. I've never been to Wyoming. Probably never
Brandon
will
was
be.
playing he's just been getting so much better every single year. So you almost kind of expect him to keep taking these steps, and did it again.
Showed some emotion too, which I
A lot
love.
of
I love
emotion.
seeing Brandon Nimmo get hyped because that's how you know the moment's big. Is when
Yeah.
Brandon Nimmo shows a little emotion, you know that meant a lot, and he gave like a yes.
And everyone was like jamming on him
yeah,
after.
the expletives had to be like, oh my gosh,
G. Wilkers with a catch.
yeah, like,
By golly, we hauled that one in.
but my goodness, he can do whatever he wants when he's making catches like that. Like he was such a beast.
And he was like so funny talking about it after the game because he had an at bat the following half inning with a man on, and it just seemed like he was still really keyed up.
Yeah.
And someone asked him about it after the game, and he was like, I had so much adrenaline going, I was scared I wasn't going to fall asleep till 6 a.m. It's just funny. He's great.
Ottavino came in
Yeah.
for, what was that, the 8th then, right? Came in for the
Yes.
8th. And me and you, we could sense a little tide turning. So as we are with superstition and jinxes, we moved our seats.
Got up. Right before he got to the mound.
Had to change locations.
Yes.
Had to be.
Because things were going well, but it was different. Ottavino facing two lefties and Mookie Betts. I was just a little bit scared about that. And he got through it.
handled it beautifully.
Super well,
Handled
super
it
well.
beautifully. And then we got to see the Trumpets live and in person. Timmy Trumpet's here. Stayed for a second game because he wanted to play for Edwin Díaz. Went out onto the field, and it was absolutely electric. It was sick.
It was like being at a concert with a pit. When it began, like people like stormed the rail.
It was tight.
It was crazy.
Like the upper decks, I feel like emptied out so that people could get lower and get closer to being on the to the field for that moment. Like it was I don't want to say pandemonium, but it was close.
I like knowing I can get lost in chaos. It's like, I'm a little shorter guy. People can lose me in a crowd. I use the opportunity to just go like right up to the field.
I lost you.
Yeah, literally. I was too quick.
I was like, where'd you go?
I literally went down the stairs in the field level. I wanted to get as close to the field as possible to feel this energy.
Speaking of superstitions there as well, you were like, come on down. Just come down.
Yeah, you were like, no.
I was like, he's striking out the guys up here.
But a big reason I did that is because that's what we did that Subway Series game,
Yes,
if you remember. It's like we went to the exact section, only watched the ninth inning there. So this might become a bit of a tradition for me.
Yeah, we might. John asked if we're superstitious. Do we actually believe in this? We just rattled off like
11 things that's happened this week.
Extremely specific things that have happened in the last 48 hours that we've each done. Like
literally.
I think you got your answer there.
Oh my God. And then you got through it. It was just there was no resistance at all. It went right through the heart of the Dodgers lineup. It was 2-3-4.
Striking out
Trey
dudes.
Turner, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith in a one-run game. Cut him like butter.
Yeah, got to his 100th strikeout this season. Fastest pitcher to 100 Ks and by innings pitched in Mets history, which is pretty impressive.
John tried to sneak the word virtue in there. Trip Mark up for a second.
Nah, I don't read often, so virtue, that's a big word.
And 32nd game with 1 or no runs allowed by the Mets has 4th in baseball.
They're so good.
They're so good.
They're so good. Like, it's so funny how if the Mets give up 1 run, the conversation amongst other people who are not smart will say the Mets are lucky.
They could be smart in other things.
But
like you could be really smart with Rockets and dumb with baseball.
Yeah, true. But like, at what point are you just going to be like, maybe the Mets are good at pitching, are a good baseball team? Like, 84 and 48. There's even some Mets fans that still don't believe. Like, I don't know what it's going to take.
Plenty of Mets fans.
I don't know what it takes.
You know what it takes? It literally takes winning a World Series.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually
It's
true.
exactly what it takes.
Someone will still have a problem.
It's no more, no less.
Yeah, no, I guess it is.
I wish it didn't go 7 games.
Yeah, that would be it. We had 7 games to win this. You couldn't win it in 4. I mean, this team is just so good. And like a game like that against the Dodgers, as tight and as intense as it was, good baseball teams win that game. Yeah. And the Mets beating the best team in baseball in that sense. Like, that's what you want to do.
Mets had 8 hits in this game. 7 of them came with 2 outs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Clutch.
Something was happening. This
Clutch
team it seems like a lot of focus too.
Yeah, no, like they
Locked in.
after losing game 1, they came out onto the field. My dad even noticed this to me talking to him. He was like, they just looked really loose and comfortable, despite. I mean, like the circumstances aren't weird. It's just that the Braves are close, but like they really just felt like they were like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do our job again today, and we're gonna come out and play well and win this game.
Also, we met some fans in center field before this game. We just hung out. I went to go meet my dad. He was in center field with one of his friends, and he was just chatting up 2 guys, like a guy and his nephew.
Yeah.
Fans of the podcast. Jonathan DeCastro. Shout you out.
And your nephew. I wish I remembered your nephew's name.
I don't think we actually got it.
Okay, maybe that was
He was a little shy, but he was a good kid, and he listens to the podcast, so you know we're talking.
He's a great kid then if he's listening to
fantastic
the podcast.
kid. He's a good kid.
Great way for game 2 to go. Quick and easy, in and out, back to Astoria in like 10 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, I caught the first Super Express out of here. I was like back in Brooklyn by like 10:15.
I was making a joke with you earlier. I was like, we're probably gonna get home the same time tonight when the game started at 4.
We're gonna go home later tonight.
Yeah. Then when it did yesterday when it was a 7:00 game. Moving on to game 3 though here. It's another good one, rubber match here.
This was probably the most, because the DeGrom game was incredible. I think this was the most compelling game of the series. The most like things happening that we actually can talk about, dissect, analyze.
Because in the first inning, it started again. It was one of those rallies where it could have been so sick. Like we had Clayton Kershaw on the ropes, on the absolute ropes, and what was his first start back, right, from being injured.
No rehab starts either, just sim games.
Yeah, and it did look like he had to shake off the rust a little bit because he was walking guys in the first inning, bases loaded. He gave a walk to Mark Canha, which he hasn't done in like ever almost.
7th of his career. 7th time Clayton Kershaw has walked in a run.
First time since 2015.
That is disgusting.
That's the last time the Mets were in the World Series.
It's true. Hey,
we were 19 years old.
Either freshman or sophomore in college, depending on what month that happened.
Did not have a legal beverage.
No, definitely not.
It's insane. So yeah,
living in dorms.
Well, you were living in dorms.
You never lived in a dorm?
Not
Yes,
in
you did.
2015?
Well, 2014 it started, then 2015 it ended. That's the bulk of the baseball season, if you remember.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I guess. Yeah, you're right. unless he did it in September 2015.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, August,
There you
South
go.
Carolina. We started early.
College football starting this weekend, baby.
Yep. So the Mets got off to a good start, but it could have been better.
I wish it would have been better, too, because when you have an opportunity against a guy like Kershaw like that, like, you gotta make it count. And getting one is good. Taking the lead is good. But Clayton Kershaw literally is like one of the best pitchers of all time against the Mets.
You don't even have to put against the Mets. Just
Yeah,
of
well,
all
literally
time.
best pitchers of all time, but also specifically against the Mets. He before Wednesday, he had started 15 games. Thursday, he started 15 games, 98 2/3 innings pitched, 10-0 record.
Pretty good.
Only pitcher in history that have 10 wins against the Mets and no losses.
Not today.
2.19 ERA. I don't think he got the loss.
No,
No.
he did
Not
not.
get the
He
loss.
did not get the loss.
Martin game loss. Well,
Dang it.
And I think 2015 NLDS. I know we beat him, but I also don't know if he got the loss then.
I think he
because these stats were
did.
only regular season. I pulled them off Baseball Reference.
I think he did get one loss in the postseason against us.
2 starts also. I think he made.
Okay, yeah, he
But-
started game one.
Yeah, 2.19 ERA, 103 WHIP, 28% strikeouts, 7% walks, 15 career starts against the Mets. He's unbeatable. And Dodgers were before yesterday when you guys listening to this 14-1 in those games.
That's pretty impressive, but obviously, as we know, they didn't get the win today, which is fantastic.
He also got super sharp after this first inning. He struck,
A little help from the shadows,
After
I
the
think.
first inning, he struck out 6 of the next 9 batters.
He's good. I mean, that's nice. I have to say.
Not
But-
outs, batters.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just said nice because
Yeah.
But
Yeah, sure. Nice.
he's just good. He's just good. And
And Dodgers got 2 right after this happened as well, which also made it kind of hurt. A couple knocks, a walk. But there was also a weird play here, which reminded me of the 2006 NLDS.
Yes.
Where it was bases loaded, single hit. I almost said Hingle. Single hit by Chris Taylor. And Trace Thompson, just using his athleticism, which is one of his best traits, he
Yeah.
tried to score from first
yeah.
on a single with one out
relatively close.
and the top of the order up next.
Yeah.
And he got thrown out. Well, by a step only, but I thought that was a little bit of a peculiar play at the time.
Dodgers third base coach seems to be a bit of a maniac.
I think I'm kind of learning a lot third base coaches might be.
Just might be a little crazy. You might have to be a little crazy
It's
to make
kind
these
of part of the
decisions.
game, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we know Joey Cora is a
You have a
madman.
split second to just wave an arm or tell a guy to stop. It
Yeah.
could literally determine the winner or loss.
Which also, thank you for sending him.
Yeah,
'cause
that
I
was
think
great.
that did change that entire inning for sure.
Mookie Betts would have been up with a man on third, 1 out.
Yeah.
That's
Man on first and third.
yeah, first and third. You're
Yeah.
right.
So it would have felt
Could've
a
been a
whole lot
disaster.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been really bad. We ended up getting an out off of a bloop, which was awesome. And then the game kind of just hit a lull up into the 6th inning. Had a nice little rally off of Kershaw as well. Or not off of
No,
Kershaw,
Kershaw,
because
Martin.
Kershaw came out after
Martin.
5. Chris Martin.
But cool that we had such a long inning in the first. The silver lining on that dark cloud, only scoring the 1 run, base low 1 out. But he threw over 20 pitches. His first game back, he wasn't going to throw that many anyway. So nice that we got to get him out in the 5th. The opposite of what happened with Tyler Anderson the day before. And the Dodgers did have one of their better bullpen guys ready, but we're still able to hit them.
Yep. Marte had that little legged out hit that Gavin Lux just kind of slept on a little bit. Marte doesn't always bust it on every play, obviously because of his hamstring, but this one, he was sprinting, and he had an over 30 feet per second sprint speed, which
Elite.
that's pretty fast if you guys don't know. If you're not running those calculations in your head, 30 feet per second is pretty fast. Got that because Gavin Lux was sleeping. Then Lindor laced a double after another foul ball home run, which the Mets are absolutely elite at.
That as fast as Marte got on that run down the first base on the swinging bunt, that would have been top 10 sprint speed in all of baseball.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. Pretty
Only
fast.
Bobby Witt, Jose Siri, Trey Turner, Jorge Mateo, O'Neal Cruz, Tim LaCastro. Those are the type of guys who are faster than that.
Yep. Lindor drove him in with that double that he smoked. He then stole third base, which was the 5th steal of third base that he's had this year. I
On
mean,
15 total steals.
Francisco Lindor's a good baseball player.
Stealing third is kind of like a litmus test for like those baseball players with the extra gears.
Yeah.
You know, those guys who are really, really aware, the guys who are really, really involved, those guys who really know what they're doing.
It's a
out
little
there.
cerebral.
It is just because he got such a good jump on
Sick
that.
jump.
Oh
He was
my
timing
God.
him the entire time, and then
Yes.
finally was like, all right, I'm gonna go for it. And with 1 out, it's a perfect time to do it.
Also had an unbelievable series in of itself. He was riding an over 20-something streak coming in.
Yeah, John
but-
Harper.
Yeah, thank you, John Harper, for reigniting Francisco Lindor, because in this series, he was 5 for 10 with a walk and a hit by pitch.
That article got me mad. I said something on Twitter. I was
Yeah, you ate the trash.
I ate the trash. I took the clickbait. I mean, his article did say that. Like everything that his title was true that he said in his article. So he didn't really, I guess, bait me into reading it. But he did bait me into tweeting about him. So
Yes, and then
hats off to you, John.
Darren Ruff, who'd also been on the schneid a little bit, had a nice sacrifice fly to drive Lindor in, give the Mets the lead here.
Big sacrifice fly. I needed that for Darren Ruff's stock, and I think for a little bit of Mets fan sanity as well. Because there was like
There's been the anti-rough movement's been growing on Twitter.
The cheer was like a little bit of like a yes. Thank you.
Also because he had a couple balls, and then he got to 2 strikes with some fouls, and we were like, you really got to get this run in because you gotta get a guy from third, less than 2 outs, take a lead against a very good team. That's a very, very important situation. And Ruff has driven in a runner from third with less than 2 outs in 3 of his 4 chances with the Mets.
He does seem to bear down a little bit when we need him.
What do you think the league average is on that? Can you get that, John?
It's got to be low. It can't be that
No,
high.
runner third, less than 2 outs? Probably around better than 50.
40-50%?
I'd say a little better than 50. I'd guess like 53, 54.
Yeah, because I mean, hitting's still hard.
Hitting is still hard, but making contact isn't crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's relatively true. But
this-
we have to make decent enough contact.
This was a
too.
good moment. This was also against a righty because Caleb Ferguson was warming up. So if the Mets would have brought in a lefty, then they would have just brought in their lefty. So good for Buck for trust here.
Yeah.
By the way,
Get there.
51.2% is the league average.
You were pretty
Yeah.
close.
Pretty close.
You're going to need that for the estimate later.
Well, I'm cold in the estimate.
Yeah, you're cold there. Chris Bassett, another strong start. I mean, the line wasn't anything to really talk about, but he just did exactly what we need every single time. Quality start.
Yeah. June and July, Bassett was just crushing the K- walk rate, which is talk about last one of my favorite stats. He was like top 20 in the league in it. That has very much dried up in August. But he got another quality start, 16. I think
pretty good.
Yeah, John, you gave this quality start stat before.
Yeah, he's now one of 10 National League pitchers with 16 or more quality starts this season. The word quality, that describes Chris Bassett.
Literally.
Quality.
That's the kind of guy you want starting Game 3 in a postseason run.
He's like the Mark Canna of pitchers for us a little bit.
He kind of is. And there was like a month in the beginning of the season where it was like you got them confused because they looked very similar.
Yeah, of course. But, I mean, Chris Bassett giving us exactly what we needed. That consistency, hasn't allowed a home run in 46 innings.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, the double plays, everything's
It's a
been
jinx.
rolling.
Why would you guys say that? It's a jinx.
He said it.
I said it.
I just knocked on the wood. Come on.
This is a
We're
factual.
doing what I can.
This is a factual statement. This is not an opinion. I think opinions jinx.
No, but it's true. I think when you reveal a streak like that, that becomes a jinx.
That's what I get for trying to be a stat guy.
Yeah, it's true.
I was, you know what it was? It was because the kid in center field today told me he likes you more than me because you read stats. So I had to try and get a couple stats in there today.
That's my first one out of all the people who've ever come to get pictures with Mark.
That's what I get. That's what I get.
Yeah. But, I mean, great job from Chris Bassett. Then, very important, the inning after Bassett came out, Trevor May came in. Trevor May threw a very good inning after letting the first 2 men on.
Yeah, bad start.
Bad start, but he found his slider after that. He found the command of his fastball. He struck out Mookie Betts, who I got very excited for.
It's a big one.
The strikeout. Yeah, that was good. Because this team needs Trevor May, and Trevor May, at his best, is an incredibly, incredibly effective relief pitcher. We know
Super
that.
valuable.
So if you could find it for this last month, and we got some good matchups for anybody out there to find it, that would be very good for this team.
Maybe he needs to throw a few more warm-up pitches. It seems like he just had to warm up a little bit more before he got
You're his
ready.
friend. Tell him.
I'll shoot him a DM. I'm sure Trevor May would love nothing more than
Trevor,
for me
I
to
have an
say,
idea.
why don't you throw more warm-up pitches? You look like you're not ready yet. I'm sure that would be. He'd love that.
Yeah, he'd probably give you some harsh words.
Give Jeff McNeil hitting advice though. So
And he appreciated it.
he did appreciate that. Can't forget it.
No.
Hitting Coach Mark.
And then after this moment is when the rally bun was born.
Rally bun.
Because
rally bun.
Mark was feeling a little bit awkward because we just been out a time or two from the seats we were in, in the 300s, into a row, and there was a good group of middle-aged /
Elder
older
statesmen
people having some fun around us.
Oh, they were having a good
really
time.
getting after it. I think one of the guy turned over to his friend at one point and was like, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used a little different language,
Yeah.
but
So then with 2 outs and nobody on, with James McCann up, I had to go to the restroom. Mark was looking for some porky goodness. I was like, let's go now.
and I said, it's the middle of the at-bat.
Yeah.
Let's just finish it. Let's see what happens. And literally from that moment on, the Mets just went on a tear. McCann roped that double in the gap, which was awesome. Got a little close to second base.
Yeah.
Whoa, hey, get in there.
McCann hit the ball hard a lot this series.
Yeah, he did. He had a bunch of hard hit balls. I know John has that stat. John, you want to hit us with that?
Yeah. On this homestand, I believe, is what I wrote down. Yeah. 6 of his 7 batted balls on this homestand have been hard hit. For those at home who don't know what that means, 95 miles an hour or faster off the bat. And today he roped a line out, 106.1 off the bat against Kershaw. I'm telling you guys, James McCann is going to have big hits for this team, both down the stretch and in the postseason. It's coming. You heard it here first. No jinxes.
Big hit Jim.
That's why we call him Big Kid Jim. Also, another shout out to Gavin Lux, who just didn't really properly track a pop-up in this inning as well, which was very nice.
Yeah, Mookie Betts and him, it just fell in no man's land, and it helped get some more stuff going for this Mets team, and ended up giving us a nice lead, which was great, because now we have the middle of their order up for
Yes.
the 8th inning, which was what?
3, 4, 5.
So that would be, I don't remember the names.
Freeman,
Freeman.
Smith-Muncy.
Freeman,
Yeah.
Smith-Muncy.
And Edwin comes into the game. So we got the Trumpets.
Oh, wait, no, it might have been Turner, 2, 3, 4.
No, it was 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, because Trevor May got the fly ball from Turner after
Yes.
that got well into the outfield.
a little scary.
Well into the outfield, yeah.
But Edwin comes in, a little bit of a rocky start. And that's what it's because I had the rally button in my right hand.
I know, that was the whole reason there.
That was on me, guys.
Yeah,
But you know what? I
happens.
switched it over to the left hand, and as soon as I did, he had no problems. I mean, couple long fly balls too.
If Edwin Díaz can pull one thing from this podcast, it's to never ever point in the air.
Yes,
Because we have PTSD
Please.
with that.
We have bad memories.
Yeah. And also, this was a situation, I turned to Mark and talked about this. We've been very happy about using Edwin Díaz in different innings if it gets him against the middle of orders this season, especially the last few months. Seems like Buck's been doing that a lot. But against the Dodgers, when you have 3, 4, 5 coming up, when you're facing the Dodgers, you're more scared of 1 and 2 than anything else. Like 1, 2, and 3. Mookie Betts is the best hitter in this lineup. He's one of the best hitters in all of baseball. So when you're now facing 3, 4, 5 in the 8th inning, you need to not. If 2 men get on base at any point the rest of this game, Mookie Betts gets an at bat.
Yeah.
And I'm almost looking to use Edwin Díaz against the best hitter possible at some point. And this is not an exact science, but like when you're doing this 8th inning thing with Edwin, it's like a needle threading situation. And when 2 men got on immediately with nobody out, that guaranteed a Mookie Betts at bat if it wasn't going to be a double play. And Edwin Díaz doesn't get ground balls because he only strikes guys out and gets fly balls, so it was unlikely to get a double play. So I was a little bit nervous in this moment that we were going to have not Edwin Díaz facing Mookie Betts at some point. Everything worked out, but it's a little wrinkle in this in the different ways the Mets are weaponizing Edwin Díaz.
Yeah, because you can see the process behind it of
sure.
like 3, 4, 5.
Yes,
we
heart
want
of
our
the
best
order.
pitcher facing the heart of the order.
And the idea also is that if Edwin Díaz is Edwin Díaz and he gets a 1, 2, 3 inning because he's so dominant and because he is, then you have Adam Ottavino, who's been one of the most dominant relievers in all of baseball as well, against the bottom of an order, and Mookie Betts doesn't see the field. But once those
Correct.
2 men get on base, that was guaranteed, and I got a little nervous.
Yeah, but luckily for us, as you were mentioning about Adam Ottavino being one of the best,
Yes.
that we've seen, no trouble whatsoever. It was such a smooth ninth.
We're getting to the point where we have to start recognizing Adam Ottavino as one of the better offseason signings in all of baseball this year.
No doubt. I mean, like he's almost a forgotten about acquisition
It's like
too.
it's a 2.02 ERA in the year.
Like it's so easy to bring up Marte,
Yes.
Canna, Scherzer,
Yeah.
Bassett. And Ottavino
All good.
kind of goes by the wayside a little bit in those conversations, I feel like, that I've had with other Met fans.
I can't even imagine where this team would be right now without Adam Ottavino. Like he's very, very clearly been
The number 2 guy.
the number 2 guy, the second most consistent guy, the second most reliable guy all year long. And if Edwin Díaz wasn't having one of the greatest relief seasons of all time, I think Ottavino would be getting more shine because
sure.
he's having one of the best relief seasons in all of baseball.
It's overshadowed.
Yeah, since May 8th, because he had that bad outing with the Braves when his ERA crept over 4 for a minute and people were rallying against him after 6 appearances or something like that, saying that he wasn't good. A 1.02 ERA, 0.84 whip, 48 strikeouts and 9 walks, and he stranded 23 of 32 inherited runners. 4th best ERA in all of baseball among 429 pitchers with at least 100 batters faced. Fourth best.
He has such a unique fastball slider in that his slider is really slow. It's like 80. I think today it was sitting around 80. And his fastball and his sinker or whatever, like sits like 95, gets a little bit higher sometimes. So like the change in pace along with his arm slot and the way that the ball comes in and his tunneling.
His extension, too.
His extension. Like we saw that pitch he threw to Chris Taylor in the 9th that Chris Taylor like took and it like ended up being right down the middle. And you're like, how do you take that? But then they showed an angle on SNY from behind home plate, like kind of Chris Taylor's view. And the ball started off behind his back and it ends up being right in the middle of the strike zone. Like that kind of stuff is so insane to have. And Adam Ottavino, like you said, has been immensely important to this team's success.
100%. And, I mean, you mentioned the difference in the miles an hour. That fastball sinker, you're right, sits between 94 and 95, and that slider, just 81.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Monumental difference, over 12 miles an hour.
Change of pace. Like,
Yes.
we talk about Jacob deGrom, like, has something similar, but it's just because he throws, like, 102, and then his slider's 91. So, like, there's a big change
No,
of
the
pace.
slider's like 93, 94. We had this conversation talking during Jacob deGrom's start that
Oh, yeah.
if you took every single pitch that every single Mets starting pitcher throws, Jacob deGrom's slider is in contention for the second hardest thrown pitch behind Jacob deGrom's fastball.
Yeah, Edwin Díaz, basically,
Yeah.
if you just take the starting pitchers.
Literally, because Scherzer's fastball gets around like 94, 95 when he's really cranking. He's really feeling that stuff. But deGrom's slider sits there too.
So sick. I mean, like,
And
this,
also, we're talking about velocity. Edwin Díaz threw the fastest pitch of his career on Thursday. 102.8 mile an hour fastball, strike Gavin Lux out, and end that 8th inning with men on and a run in.
you see 103 pop up on the screen, and you go, oh, That's pretty fast.
It's shocking, honestly. And there were a lot of tweets about 103. And when this was all said and done today, the Mets had won another rubber game. There's a cool flip that the Mets lost game 1, won game 2, evening out those numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
But the Mets are now 15-3 in 18 rubber games this season.
That feels like a lot of rubber games, too.
It is a lot because they always win game 1, lose game 2.
Yeah.
It's the recipe.
Good baseball team, man.
Really
good baseball team.
84-48, palindrome.
Awesome stuff. I mean, they won 77 games last year. Already 7 games better, and they have the whole month of September left.
Yeah, good team. Great team. Mets team's great team. They play great baseball, full team effort. Everyone's involved. Everyone made an impact this series. It was awesome.
Awesome stuff. Now,
even Michael Givens threw 2 scoreless innings, including one against top of the Dodgers order on Tuesday night.
there we go to the Givens.
Even had it.
The haters. We know we're Givens guys over here.
We're
so
trying.
We're always going to be pushing for our boys.
Givens guys.
Givens guys. Is that the tagline we're rocking with Givens guys?
You said it.
I guess I did say it. You know what else was great about this series?
Yeah, I know.
Your boy won another estimate and is pushing.
I had to put my hand up on that one. That was one of the worst guesses ever. I was
in contention for the worst guess.
It was the worst. Maybe
Yeah.
the booze, but that was subjective kind of.
Yeah, I was feeling hot. I was feeling the Yankees were playing so bad. Like there was a chance there was 100 boos in that series.
There was a chance. I was riding about 5 total hours of sleep last weekend before we did estimate.
Excuses coming out.
Mark and I were working hard Friday night preparing for Old Timers Day. We got up early, took the train up to the east side.
You guys hear this? I was fine.
Went straight from Old Timers Day to a concert, was out late. Sunday morning, I had to be at the Meadowlands at 10 in the morning for Mojo, getting content there. I was busting. And by the time this episode came, I was like half asleep. I had fallen asleep for 3 hours in that afternoon.
That's how we got to do it.
I know.
You have a chance to redeem yourself here.
I
John,
do.
I know you got a good estimate for us.
I do. But first, I want to say hi to your dad.
Yes.
I met Mr. Luino
The legend.
on Wednesday, and you told me he was super mad about the Chase Utley take.
My dad talks a big game.
Yeah, but very, very nice gentleman. James, you didn't tell me your dad was there on Wednesday night.
You're so busy during the games. We can't wrangle you during a game.
I can find a couple minutes for Mr. Schiano.
Next week, next time my dad's in the ballpark, which will probably be the next home game because he's addicted to Citi Field.
No shout out for my mom.
Mrs. Luino was very nice.
There
too.
you go.
But you didn't tell me that you wanted to punch me in the face.
My mom has no ill will towards you, except the fact that you forgot to shout her out too. But
Yeah, now that's almost two.
That's a flub.
Yeah, that's a
Second
that's a
time
flub.
I've admitted a flub today.
Might catch a little flack for that one, John.
Yeah, well,
What are you gonna do?
you're on fire with the flack versus slack.
Listen,
all over
it's
it,
something
yeah.
that
Mark
I've
got hot.
really made a conscious effort to fix because I sound like a stupid person.
Well, I'm not stupid, but maybe just not the smartest.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, yeah. You're on fire with these. Like James said, you're looking real smart right now.
7-5, right? 7-5.
7-5. So it was Max Muncy chases. For this episode, we're going to the complete opposite end of the spectrum. For those who are not too familiar with the upcoming opponent, the Washington Nationals, Luis Garcia has shown a pretty good hit tool, but the one part of his game that's not quite yet refined is his ability to identify balls.
He
Including
might be able to
today.
identify them. He just likes to swing at them.
He likes to swing at everything,
Yeah.
which is good. Pace of play, 2 hours, 19 minutes. We're all for it. Luis Garcia is down 2.
New York guy too, by the way.
Is he really?
From New York, New York.
Had no idea. Interesting. What is he, 21, 22, young guy?
22.
Getting
Good
a lot
swing.
of burn with the Nationals right now as they wind down their season. But including today, he has 5 walks and 258 plate appearances. One of those walks actually came today, which I was super excited about. So I want you guys to tell me, how many pitches will Luis Garcia take for a ball in this 3-game series?
Oh boy, man! Now
At time.
we can see each other's paper and cheat here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put up
I
a
know.
wall because James has been struggling in these series ever since we've changed it to the new
Undercode.
new format.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
James-
I also have the one cushion because I'm gonna, there was one taken off the board that I absolutely should have won a month ago.
Nah.
Yeah.
If neither guy pitches.
That's part of the under. That's why you bet.
Listen, you got the Kyle Schwarber
No,
one
it's
where
a
he got one
void,
pinch hit.
James.
don't know.
The wager is voided if the guy doesn't get into the game.
We'll
It
see.
says it on the, from what I've heard. I don't know. But from what I've heard, it says it right there.
Man, this is super interesting. Where do I want to go with this one? He does not walk ever.
Not at all. It's
like
like when Ahmed Rosario didn't draw a walk for the first 40 games of
Yeah, it's
2020.
very similar.
And then he
The
did,
writing
and you
was on
could
the
hear
wall.
the entire dugout erupting because there was no one in the stands.
And we
That
got
was
3
fun.
games against the Nationals. Okay, I'm gonna write my number down here.
I still want to look at one more thing.
Look, I should do a little Jeopardy.
Yeah, give us a do. Was it Mike was on Jeopardy, right?
Mike Janela was on Jeopardy, and there were some T-shirts made because his final Jeopardy answer was something to the effect of, "I don't know the answer, but the Mets are going all the way this year." By the way,
Mike.
great spot with Mike today in the park.
Thank you.
And I guess I opened my big mouth and talked about the locks.
Yeah, it was your birthday today also. Oh, yeah, John, hold on. Happy birthday. Everyone make sure you, however you can, wish John a happy birthday the day we're recording this. How old are you, John?
Not 40.
Not
like
40.
You guys claim.
Yeah.
Closer to 40 than we are.
31.
Yeah, definitely closer than we are.
Yeah, I'm sure. But hey, you guys will get to 31 before you know it too.
Your
Why'd you say
Piazza
that?
year.
I am Piazza year.
I'm trying to find John's Twitter right now to shout out. Do you remember that?
It's like JMB.
Oh, yeah.
JMB
right.
9191. Yes.
Yes.
we go.
Everyone make sure you tweet John happy birthday because John is the best producer.
Tweet John happy birthday, and also tweet him your hockey takes. He will talk hockey any day of the week.
I haven't gotten a hockey plug yet in the show.
Oh, you did. You threw it in immediately once you started talking.
What did I say?
You were talking about the Rangers just lost to the
Oh,
Yankees.
Ranger
Yeah.
Rehab.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was wearing a Gretzky jersey at the Johan no hitter, by
That's
the way,
insane.
That's awesome.
because I was being petty and the Devils were playing the Kings. All right, James, you guys got your
Yeah,
numbers?
I got my number.
I got my. Now I'm thinking. I'm so in my own head right now with these.
I don't like that number. I
This
don't
would
like
be a
that number.
massive
I don't like
collapse, James. I mean,
I don't like
I've
it
seen
either.
some collapses in my time. This would be up there.
It wasn't crazy. It was like it was a 4 lead.
It felt like a runaway. By the way,
you-
If
Call
we
it a
wouldn't have
chance.
changed the rules, this would be over by now.
well,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
we
we're just
could
making.
So no, I'm
we're fair.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I have
Hold
my
on,
number.
I'm not ready
Yeah,
yet.
you're not ready yet? How much time do you need?
Oh, you're right.
Checking out the
Devo
walk
over
rate.
here.
I know.
What's the first number that comes to your mind? I was running
Checking out
quick
the
math.
in zone rate.
We know that Ohio State doesn't do math like South Carolina. Like in that last
I actually
episode.
think that's not true.
Like in that last episode. No. Number 1 international business school in the country, all right?
What?
Those people
South
know math.
Carolina?
Yeah.
Is that so?
At least while I
Ranked
was-
higher than the Kelly Business School of Indiana?
International business
International.
school.
Oh, okay.
Very specific.
We're going global.
I don't know where Darla Moore ranks, but the international program is apparently fantastic. I never even once had a chance.
You guys ever win a conference?
Yeah. Not while I was there, but we've won sometimes.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
What number did you write?
6.
I wrote 11.
Another disparity.
All right.
That's another really interesting one.
Yeah.
I had 8 on the back originally, and then I said 11. Like,
I went 5 and I bumped to 6.
So my theory was he's probably going to get about 10 at-bats because I don't know how much I don't know if he's going to play against Peterson, who's going to be pitching on Friday because lefty-lefty.
That's great.
So I said,
Great for
let's
me.
just go 10 at-bats.
And 1 ball per at bat.
Yeah, and about 1 or 2 balls per at-bat. And anything, listen, you went low. You
know.
went really low. So anything above 11,
Yeah.
I mean, I win. So the more balls that happen,
Yeah.
it just plays completely in my favor.
If he doesn't play that one game, though, I like my chances a lot.
For sure. But if he plays in 3,
Yeah.
you might be screwed.
I don't
And
know.
this could be a 1-game back lead right here. Really breathing
tough.
down your neck.
Coming close here. Oh, man.
I mean,
I was really resting on my laurels.
I'd be interested to see who you guys want to wear the tuxedo more, though. Would it be me or James?
It's totally you.
You think so?
100%.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
kind of think it's you, James.
Why?
you got the
I can't
beard.
explain
Look better.
it.
Look better in the tux.
Well, of course.
I'm a clean-shaven man. You're a cave or wolf man. What do you call you? Caveman, wolf boy?
Yeah, that one guy called me caveman or wolfman or something. I think I have that tweet in my dress. I never sent it out.
I just feel like Mark would own it more and you
sure.
would
You
own
think?
it less. So it would be like more of a punishment
That's so
for you.
disrespectful.
Put a tux on
No,
me.
no, like you don't want to wear it. I feel like Mark, if he wears, he's like, yeah, it's cool.
I'm fine to wear it
I'll
as
get
long
good
as I
content.
don't buy it.
See, that actually would make it funnier if you guys had a.
No.
No,
that
absolutely,
was,
absolutely
oh, so
not.
now you both. That's the incentive, though. Then
No,
you
no,
don't
no, no, no.
really.
We're not absolutely not. We're not allowed to bet.
All good. No,
No betting.
sure.
All
sure.
right.
I just realized, by the way, Luis Garcia, 5 walks, like I mentioned. 3 of them have come in the last 7 games.
Nice hot, baby. Let's go. Let's play it to me.
Oh no!
I mean, listen, James, you're the pitching guy. All you need is the boys on the mound to just pound the zone. Pound the zone to Luis Garcia, which I feel like is a perfect way to preview who could be pounding the zone against Luis Garcia. What are our pitching matchups for this series?
Pitching matchups for this series. I load them up because I was checking out the college football scoreboard.
College football scoreboard. Yeesh.
It's on tonight. There's
Oh, yeah.
some games on right
Oh,
now.
yeah, there
a couple
is.
ranked games.
No SEC or whatever, but
David Peterson versus Josiah Gray on Friday night, 7:10.
Josiah Graham followed me on Twitter, so I hope he gets rocked.
We've seen Josiah Gray a few times this year. Josiah Gray has great stuff, but he throws a very hittable fastball, and the ball, He's prone to the home run ball.
Loves a good home run.
Yes, he really, really loves allowing home
Hope
runs.
he gives up 20.
High ceiling on him, but he really just can't get that fastball off of the heavy contact.
I believe he is a Lemoyne Dolphin. Believe he.
I actually think you're right.
I believe he played shortstop at Lemoyne.
College shortstop.
I actually don't know
yes.
if they're the Dolphins.
I actually
but-
became obsessed with him as a prospect because he was a shortstop. And whenever guys like learning how to pitch, like they're baseball young, I'm like, and they already have good stuff. I'm like, that's a guy.
Yeah, I remember when he followed me. I was like, hey, look, your guy followed me,
Yeah.
and then he unfollowed me. So give up 20 runs.
And then as of right now, because I remember reading that Carrasco's return was intended for Saturday, but I think that now has been pushed back to Sunday.
Not sure. On ESPN,
On
says,
ESPN, it has Scherzer, Corbin Saturday, 7:15. Weird that we have a 7:10 followed by a 7:15.
Yeah, what's with the
That
15?
doesn't make any sense.
That might be a Fox thing, if I had to guess.
It's not Fox. It's not a Fox game.
You can't
No?
be putting Mets
I know
Nationals.
Kevin
It might have
Burkhart's-
something to do with the Open.
What's 5
5
minutes?
minutes.
gonna
I know,
do?
but the why? I don't know. It's
I know
weird.
Kevin Burkhart's throwing a first pitch on Saturday, so that'll be
Oh,
exciting.
really?
Kevin?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
KB.
KB, return to glory. And then
Legend.
Sunday, 1:40, Carrasco versus Fedde.
Okay. I mean, it's the Nationals.
Yep.
We
Just
should
beat 'em.
take care of business.
Should beat them.
Beat them. Definitely.
It's not that much to talk about them.
No.
Just gotta kill them.
Don't look past them. I think that's really what it comes
Yep.
down to. Don't look past Nationals. Take every game one step at a time. All those
Yes.
cliches, I will say them because you have a chance to really do some damage here, and the Mets, the way they've been playing, should do some damage.
Yep. And next 16 Mets games are against the Nationals, the Pirates, the Marlins, and the Cubs.
And the Pirates again. That's exactly what you
16.
said.
Yep.
This
go.
is a stretch the Mets can really make some noise here, and I know the Braves have a little bit of a tougher schedule too. They have
They're going out west.
They're going out west to Oakland, San Francisco, and
And
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yep, and they have the Marlins, I think, this weekend. So you got to keep an eye on it. It is officially, I believe, scoreboard watching season.
Oh, it's a scoreboard watching season for a month.
September, and the Braves are 3 back of the Mets. I mean, both are just really good teams, but I mean, the Mets, they just keep playing the baseball they have, and I really do feel good about this team.
Just play who's on the schedule. Don't look past anybody. And win the games. Win the games.
Yep, and I know you have a busy weekend coming up
do.
here, James. Labor Day. What are your Labor Day plans?
I am heading back to the alma mater. Go Bucks, Ohio State. Massive
OH.
game. IO, baby. Massive game against Notre Dame. 2 versus 5, or maybe 3 versus 5, how it lined up in the shoe. I am absolutely ridiculously excited for
I'm
this
a little
game.
jealous I didn't end up coming.
I know Mark was intending to come with me and some friends. We had a big Airbnb. A lot of friends bowed out. Shout out Dan, Danny,
Yeah, call them out.
Mike, Anthony. Everyone bailed on a big Airbnb. So now I'm just crashing on a couch with a friend who still lives out there. But Mark was going to jump in with other friend Ernie. You guys know him as being the biggest Jonathan VR fan in the world.
Huge.
A recent Mets convert.
Yeah, we converted.
We got him. We told him he wouldn't be playoff eligible if he converted after September 1st. And last week he made the call.
So big congrats to Ernie. Way
Yeah.
to go.
He was always a Marlins fan traditionally, but it was mostly because of Miguel Cabrera because he's from Venezuela. And with the Marlins DFAing Jesus Aguilar, he said that was the final straw.
Yes.
Which is really funny. He'll die on.
He's got a Luis Guillorme jersey and a Jonathan VR jersey.
But it's going to be a great weekend in Columbus. Big game against Notre Dame. Got to get a win, start the season off hot. CJ Stroud, Heisman frontrunner. Jackson Smith and Jigba, best receiver in the country. Can't stop, baby.
I'll be rooting for Ohio State too until Steve Angeli, who is my neighbor back home in New Jersey, until he starts for Notre Dame, I will be rooting heavily against them so that they get him into the game sooner.
Yeah.
Freshman stud.
Well, I mean, 17-point spread. Hopefully it's 28-0 in the first half, and Steve can get some reps.
Down. Let's do it.
Yeah.
OH.
Good. Everybody wins. IO.
Yep. And Gamecocks got an easy one against SC State, or not SC State, Georgia State. So should be a nice and easy weekend in the new era of South Carolina football with that Heisman candidate Spencer Rattler.
That's generous.
Dude, he was a Heisman candidate last year. He's
Kind of.
he's playing SEC football. Dude's got a cannon of an arm. He's
He
a
does.
beast. Spencer Rattler for Heisman. You heard it here first.
Oh, God. Let's ride, though. Big weekend. First week in college football. Let's get excited.
Yep.
And go Hoosiers also. Don't forget that.
John, you Labor Day? Anything?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Oh yeah, you work.
be here.
Yeah, that's right. I
at
forgot.
home.
Yeah,
Good place to be, though.
I'll
Great
be.
place
I'll
to
be here
be.
too.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging around.
Yeah, we'll be enjoying
I would have been here if I wasn't in Columbus.
Got Ty's Tacos tomorrow.
Yeah.
You guys, well, I guess the day you guys are listening to this, Taiwan's taco truck, I guess, is going to be out in front of home plate. So if you're here early, you can go get some tacos.
And Carlos Carrasco come back to the team. Really, it felt like an eternity, yet no time at all.
Is there fireworks this weekend, John?
Yes, tomorrow night. And on top of that, the players will be picking the soundtrack for this fireworks show, which is really cool. I think it's the first time we've done that. We had a bunch of guys pick songs, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, get
On the
Canada in
ribbons,
there.
we'll have the song title and who picked it, so that'll be cool.
That's cool.
Always fun. Labor Day weekend vibes, fireworks.
What day is that?
That is tomorrow night, Friday night.
Oh, it's Friday
Yeah.
night fire. Oh, that makes
DJ
sense.
night as well?
DJ night, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is the place to be. Where else would you rather want to be right now? I mean, I'll tell you where you don't want to be. The Bronx.
Well,
Definitely. I mean, things are looking good out here in Queens. Anything else we got to talk about this episode?
All good, guys. Get ready for that Max Scherzer interview because it was the highlight of my life thus far.
Yeah, if you seriously, if you were not, can you even turn on notifications for a podcast to come out?
Oh, you can turn notifications for our Twitter.
Okay, yeah,
I should do that. Real fans.
You should turn on the notifications. You should be subscribed to the podcast wherever you listen.
We said it before. We'll say it again. We're going to try and be more active on Instagram. We're trying.
We're trying. Like
we're not Instagram people.
I make some reels and I forget, but we now have a few more graphics.
Yes,
so that will help.
Shout out to Mets.
We got some pictures. We have some more reels coming at you. Well, there's gonna be a ton of reels for Max Scherzer interview.
Yeah, as many as we could possibly draw out of there.
So make sure you guys are following us on all our social media at Mets'd. That's on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. If you're looking for the YouTube video, go to the New York Mets YouTube channel. It'll be uploaded there. If you like what you're listening to here, make sure you download, subscribe, follow, whatever it is, rating, review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow James at
James_Shiano.
Follow me at Giraffe Neck Mark. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you after the National Series. Have a good Labor Day.
Peace out, guys. Happy holiday weekend.
Well, I guess Labor Day is Monday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Labor Day.
Yeah.
Get up, get up, get up.